Hello and welcome to the High Altitude Investing live stream. Today is the 28th of September, and I'm super hyped about today's live stream. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure we share the stream link in Discord and everywhere so people know that we're live streaming today. If you guys aren't part of the free Discord community, make sure that you join the free Discord. I do post free signals in here. For example, just the other day, we took profits on Pepe because we actually bought Pepe really early on before it pumped. So here is an example of a free entry or free signal that we posted here in the Discord. And price went all the way up to the target. So we did take profit on this trade. And as you can see, this is what the trading plan looked like. So we bought down here, and then it went all the way up to our target perfectly. So that was a free signal. So I do free signals here in Discord. So make sure you guys click the link in the description box below and get started with the free Discord. Also, be aware, we have had some situations lately where there has been some scammers in the Discord direct messaging and impersonating me, creating usernames extremely similar to the username that I use. So if anybody messages you on Discord that looks like me, odds are it's not me. I basically never message my members. If they reach out to me through direct message or email or the questions box, I'll respond, but I don't just go in there and start messaging people. So be aware of that. Make sure that you guys don't fall for any scams out there. We did have one member unfortunately fall for that scam. I mean, it happens. Their username looks so similar. So just, be careful out there. I don't want to see anybody lose any money from scammers in the Discord. But yeah, join the free Discord. Just pay attention not to fall for any of those direct messages from people impersonating me, because we do have free signals in here and a lot of cool stuff that we talk about, including updates on the markets and other people's perspectives. It's just a great place to join a community of other traders. So, yeah, cool. So yeah, let's get started on today's live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love you guys. What's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, we will talk about Wrapped Dog today. Actually, really soon, because I've been wanting to talk about Wrapped Dog and give a little update. I was thinking before I did the stream how I wanted to do that. Because a lot of people, they're wondering, hey, what's happening with Wrapped Dog? So let's just go straight into Wrapped Dog right now. This is a position that I have a lot of crypto in. And I've helped a lot of other people get crypto into this position as well. I think it's going to do really, really good. So I'm super excited about this setup. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on here with Wrapped Dog. So if you guys don't know a lot about the way the meme coin markets work, like Solana meme coins, a lot of this stuff you have to have special wallets to buy it, to get your hands on it, or access to like Mexi. If it's some of these coins are available on normal regular exchanges, but if you're new to this, then basically you have to swap Solana, and depending on where your residency is, you have to swap Solana for these meme coins. So you go to like Dex Screener or Dex Tools and you go find the coin that you're looking for, and you download like Phantom Wallet, and that connects to Radium, which is basically just an exchange for these meme coins, Radium and Jupiter. So you connect your wallet, or you basically just swap Solana for these coins. So obviously, here in the United States, we can't use Mexi. So I can't just go to Mexi and buy this like I would on a regular exchange. But I can download Phantom Wallet on my phone and swap Solana for Wrapped Dog and get that really quickly and easily that way. So you guys, you can buy these coins really easily. You just have to have a basic understanding of how to do some of that swapping, because I know it sounds so basic and simple for us that are doing this kind of thing, where we're swapping coins, where we're actually doing that kind of thing on a regular basis. But a lot of people are new to the Solana meme coins, or Coinbase meme coins, or Tron meme coins, or whatever. And it's not only meme coins, you can buy other types of coins on those chains as well. But a lot of these meme coins are available through swaps. So you just have to get like Tron Link or Phantom Wallet, depending on whether you're going for a Tron meme coin or a Solana meme coin. And you basically just have to swap some Solana for the coin you're looking for. So just to get that out of the way, it's super easy to do. You just have to have Phantom Wallet to buy Solana meme coins. And you can do it really quickly and easily. But you can't, at least in the US, you can't just go to most of the exchanges that these coins are on and just buy them, right? Because of KYC. So hopefully someday we get some changes with that, because although I do believe that these companies should know their customers, the type of regulation that we're experiencing right now with KYC is overkill. Like we don't need that kind of craziness with a new developing technology like crypto. Just my personal opinion, take it for what it's worth, but over-regulation is never good for new industries. It's probably because institutions wanted to get in early, to be honest with you. All right, so basically, here with Wrapped Dog, we do have a big triangle pattern you can see. See this big triangle here? And we actually broke bullish out of this triangle. And about 50% of the time on this type of a breakout, you'll get a breakout retest. So you'll break out of the resistance and you'll come back down to major support and retest that level before you go higher. Now, I actually was teaching this in one of my previous live streams, and I was showing different coins that this happens to, and showing how when you break out of a downward trending line, about 50% of the time, you'll come back down and retest that same line. So what this does is this shakes out all the weak hands. You can see all the volume down here. That's a lot of weak hands selling and a lot of big whales buying. Why? Because people are just wanted it to moon instantly. And it does that sometimes, but about 50% of the time, the market will shake people out and retest that line that it broke above before it goes higher. Now, I was talking about this with Phantom, because Phantom had broke out of a downward trending line like this. It broke bullish out of one, came back down and retested that level. And I let everybody know, hey, you got to buy Phantom down here, because although everybody else is thinking it's going to go lower, it's actually coming back down onto support and will go a lot higher. And it did. It broke out after that point and broke through resistance. It was a perfect example of a breakout retest. I think I talked about it not last week, but the week before in one of my live streams. And so that happens a lot in the markets. You'll break out of resistance and you'll come back down and retest that level. And in fact, I'll just show you what I mean with the Phantom chart, because it'll be the easiest to see it already happening on a different market in a different coin. And earlier when I was talking about Phantom Wallet is completely different than Phantom the coin. Phantom Wallet is spelled Phantom, and Phantom the coin is spelled with an F. Completely different things. Phantom Wallet's a self-custodial wallet for like swapping and just for storing, different meme coins and stuff like that. It's most commonly used for people that trade these Solana meme coins, whereas Phantom is its own thing. It's its own coin and everything. Just to be clear, so you don't get confused. So you can see here that we have this line right here on Phantom, and in one of my previous live streams, or maybe it was in my video about Phantom, I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to go look. I talked about how we broke out above this line, and we'd come back down and retested it as support. Now I made that, I think it was my video, I made that video right here. Now a lot of people panic sell when that happens, because I think, oh, we broke out, we're just going to skyrocket. But about 50% of the time, the market pulls back to that level before it goes higher. So I was telling you guys, hey, Phantom is a good risk to reward here for entry because it's on that trend line that we broke above, getting ready to go higher as a result of a breakout retest. That's exactly what happened. The price went all the way up to 74 cents, and it was about 36 cents when I made that video that I made about Phantom. So you can see that breakout retest is a common thing that happens in markets. Very, very common. So that's what I see here with Wrapped Dog. I see a breakout retest. We broke out of downward trending resistance, and we came back down to retest that level before we break out again and go higher. So that's kind of what I'm watching here for Wrapped Dog. I'm watching for us to break out above this resistance level at 2.3 cents and for us to turn around here and go bullish. And really, this is a good entry. A really, really good entry right here. The biggest Wrapped Dog whale bought a whole bunch right here. The biggest holder, because with these meme coins, a lot of times you can just go look at the transactions because this is all decentralized finance. So you can go look at the transactions and look at the biggest holders and what they're doing. This is actually one way to kind of get in on insider trading on the big wallets that are buying these things early on before they pump. You can go look at all their transactions and you can see where they've been buying and where they've been selling. And the biggest holder for Wrapped Dog has done nothing but buy this entire time. All he does is buy. He never sells. He just buys every time that he thinks that the price isn't a good entry. He's bought up here, he's bought down here, he's bought down here. He's just continuously buying a whole bunch of this thing. So you can go look at these wallets. It's all public information on the blockchain. You can go look at these wallets and say, hey, look, this is what the big whales are doing. You can literally see their transactions. And what the big whales have been doing with Wrapped Dog, they've been buying right here. They've been buying it up right here like crazy. Why? Because they're accumulating this thing in preparation for a big picture upswing, similar to what we've seen on a lot of different meme coins lately. And unless you guys are under a rock, you know that a lot of stuff has been going 25, 30x, even 1,000%, 100x in value. A lot of these meme coins are going nuts. Why? Because the bigger market is breaking out. A lot of the bigger coins are breaking out. And as a result of that bigger breakout in the market, you're starting to see money flood into meme coins because people are thinking risk on. This is what happens. You know, when you go full force in a bull market, people start going crazy and buying everything they see. And really, we're only just barely getting started here with the crypto bull market. And so you're only really beginning to see the first fruits of the bull market. The meme coin mania that we've seen of stuff going up, 50 to 100x on Dex Screener all the time is just the first fruits of what's coming with crypto as we move into bigger upside in the bigger picture with a lot of different coins. So yeah, I do think Wrapped Dog will make a V-shaped recovery here and break right up through this resistance and start to head out up through that resistance, just in the same way that Phantom did a breakout retest of this wedge. I think Wrapped Dog did a breakout retest of this triangle. So this is pretty common market structure here. So yeah. Done talking about Wrapped Dog though, let's get talking about Bitcoin a little bit here. A lot of people, you guys can send your requests. I'll get to all your requests as we get further into the stream. For now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin. So, So Bitcoin, during this correction right here, the level we were watching in the VIP area was the 786. So we were looking for, as Bitcoin started to pull back right here, we were really looking for the 786 level in the VIP area as a place for it to turn around. And that's exactly where Bitcoin stopped, was that 786 level. Now we did buy a little bit early. I sent a trade signal right here. We got stopped out. Sent another trade signal. We got stopped out. And then we nailed the bottom on the third try. So that happens. You got to be willing to get stopped out a few times. If you want to play this market good and you're swing trading and not just dollar cost averaging in and out, which is also super profitable, but for at least the swing trades, you got to be willing to get stopped out a couple times. You know, it's just you're probably going to buy early sometimes. And because of that, you'll probably get stopped out, but that's why you have a stop loss. So you can look for a better entry and come into the market. So once it hit that 786 level, we entered again, and Bitcoin went all the way up, not quite to our target yet, but it started to head up to that direction. So that 786 level was respected perfectly here on Bitcoin. Now the other thing that you can see here is we have a V bottom here on Bitcoin. So that's a V-shaped bottom, and we actually broke the resistance of this. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a retest for us to come back down to 64K here on Bitcoin over the weekend. We have gone right up through resistance. We don't have to, but I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin pull back to the 64K level as a result of that breakout retest. So we broke out above that resistance level, and now we're watching for us to come back down and retest that level as support, just like what we were looking at with Wrapped Dog and Phantom, right? It can happen with downward trending lines, like with triangles where you break out above a triangle and then retest that level again and go up, or it can happen with horizontal lines where you break above that level and come and retest it. Super common for markets to retest. It happens about 50% of the time, a breakout retest. So this V-shaped bottom here on Bitcoin, we actually confirmed the pattern when we broke above this neckline. That confirmed the pattern. That proves that this pattern is valid. Before, it was just something you're aware of, right? You want to be aware of different trading patterns, but until they break out above their necklines, they're not confirmed. But because a lot of people FOMO buy after the breakout, a lot of times it comes back down and retests that level to shake out all the people going 100x, because a lot of people go 100x and stuff and get greedy trying to go long up here on the breakouts. So you do get retests a lot of times. So yeah, we broke above that level, and now we're watching for a retest of that level here on Bitcoin. But what I think is going to happen here in the bigger picture with Bitcoin is actually we're going to go a lot higher. You know, we're at 65K right now. We only just got started with Bitcoin. We just barely got started on this thing. A lot of people don't realize just how early we are in the market. People are still thinking in terms of, oh, bear market's coming. That's the psychology of most people because they're in disbelief. Once we're in full force in the bull market and closer to the top, everybody's going to think we're going to go higher. But right now, a lot of people are still stuck in the psychology of, oh, a bear market's going to happen. That's how you know we're early on in the cycle. Because there's so much disbelief and cynicism. And as we progress in the cycle, everybody will have perfect confidence and faith at the exact top. Except for the pros, and they're going to be a little bit cautious and start taking profits as they see everybody else get full confidence in the market. You can't follow the crowds in crypto or any market in the entire world. You can't follow the crowds because the crowds wait. They don't see the unseen, right? They wait for it to become perfectly clear and evident that you're in a bull market. And by that time, there's not that much left. You know, it's the pros that get in really early when everybody else is scared, and they start buying down here when price is super undervalued after big corrections like the FTX situation, where everybody was panic selling because they thought crypto was dead. That's when they're buying, when nobody cares. Or like down here, right? When Bitcoin came and tested the 786, or when it came down to 50K right here. They're buying there when everybody's scared and panicking because they understand the psychology of the market, right? They know that people get too fearful and too greedy, and if they can find that fear and that greed, they can profit on it. So Bitcoin has a lot more left on the upside in the big picture. You know, we have a potential bull flag pattern. Right now we're just being aware of it because we haven't broke above resistance, right? The pattern isn't confirmed until you break above the confirmation line. In the case of the bull flag, that confirmation line is this yellow resistance level. But we have a big bull flag here on Bitcoin, and once we break above that level, that confirms the pattern, and we're going to go a lot higher. Price is going to go nuts. People are going to pile into this thing quickly because everybody's going to get excited. Just like they did right here when price went all the way up to 68,000. Actually, the peak was like closer to 73,000 per coin. Right? People got excited because it became perfectly evident that we were going to go higher. So yeah, Bitcoin, people underestimate crypto. They're still thinking in terms of a bear market. They're still scared. They see price has gone up and they think, oh no. Oh no. But it's not just understanding that price has gone up and saying, oh, what goes up must come down. It's understanding the bigger context of the market. Because if you zoom out on Bitcoin and you go to the bigger time frame, even bigger than what we're looking at right now, and you look at this thing, the bigger context of this market is a huge rounded bottom. Massive rounded bottom. Just like what happened down here before Bitcoin broke out to 67K for the first time, 69 or whatever, for the first time ever. Right? Big rounded bottom structure down here. So the bigger context of the market is a massive uptrend. That's the context of the market. And so they think, oh, it's gone up in price. And in their minds, they think, oh, it must come down. No. At some point, everything does. But the bigger context of the market is important to understand. Otherwise, you're going to try to short right before the market goes nuts. Just like what everybody was doing down here at 50K. They were all shorting because they thought they were smart enough to say that, you know, to call the next bear market. And they're early. It's possible to call a bear market, but not when you get greedy and too early in on the cycle. You got to time it correctly and understand the bigger context of what's happening. Because the truth is that we're in a big uptrend. And the basics of Elliott wave theory will show you that we have a lot more to go, you know. Now, in the case of Bitcoin here, we have a little bit of overlap on wave 4, but it's only with a wick because the bodies of the candles don't overlap. So technically, according to Elliott wave theory, this is valid because you see these wicks on the top of candles? If you have, technically wave 4 is not supposed to go below wave 1. It can land on top of it, but it can't go below wave 1, except in a wick. And on the monthly time frame, you can look here on Bitcoin, that's a wick, right? That's the body of the candle is actually 14K. And the body of this candle is 16K. So this follows Elliott wave theory perfectly. The rule is that wave 4 cannot go below wave 1 except in a wick. And that candle wick went up to 20K, yeah, but it's a wick. at the top of wave 1 there, you can see this wick right here. So if it's following Elliott wave theory perfectly, Bitcoin is. If you understand the rules of Elliott wave theory and you apply it, and some people call it Elliott wave theory, but really it's Elliott wave principle, you can see wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 is coming. So the bigger context of the market is a lot more upside on Bitcoin. But people don't see that. They just think, oh, it went up, it's time to short. Or they go look at altcoins and they think, oh, a lot of these altcoins are down 90% from their peaks. And they think, oh, that must mean that they're going to go down forever. Look at this stupid bubble that popped. But very few people have the vision to see the value in crypto. And because of that, they're going to make a lot of dumb mistakes in the market. And you don't want to be those people. You want to see the market for what it is, right? You want to see the market for what it is. Just like with your life. You don't want to be delusional and think one thing when another thing's actually happening. You want to see it for what it is. And in order to do that, you have to understand the bigger context of the cycle. You have to understand the Elliott waves. You got to understand market cycles, human psychology, trading patterns. And I know it sounds like a lot to learn, but this stuff is actually pretty simple. It's not algebra. It's not calculus. It's not trigonometry. It's patterns. Simple patterns that you can learn how to see yourself, that anybody can learn. Anybody can learn this stuff. I know that. I've seen people that have very little educational background make millions in crypto just because they understood the market cycle. They're smart people, not smart from an academic perspective of, oh, look how all these random facts he knows. They're smart people. They're smart, a different kind of smart. And, they don't have big educational backgrounds, but they make millions in crypto. Because they understand patterns and market cycles and simple stuff. So you can learn this stuff too yourself. Let's see here. Okay, we got a lot of questions. I better address some of these. Thanks for the live stream, Dallin. Should be a good weekend. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Operation Shutdown. Thank you for tuning in to the live stream, my brother. Can you do TA on EGLD? Yes, in just a minute we'll do TA on EGLD. Hello, I draw your attention to this project. Blender Network has a great potential. Okay. Good morning from San Diego. What's up, my brother? I love San Diego and California, at least to go visit there. I tried living there. I don't know if I want to do it again. Traffic is crazy. To be fair, I moved right before I got my apartment and signed the lease, and then COVID hit. So I moved out there right, like in Santa Monica, actually, not San Diego, but in that California kind of area. I moved to California right when the pandemic hit because I had already signed the lease on the apartment. So once I got out there, I was living in California in the midst of a full-blown 2020 pandemic. So I guess I didn't really give it a fair try. Bad timing, but yeah. I do like Utah. That's where I'm at right now, and I love Utah. It's awesome out here. A lot of good people here. So BCH has been treating us beautifully. Also, Litecoin, Dogecoin made some awesome moves yesterday and last night as well. Yeah, that's true, Sammy. That is very true. Sammy Dragon. When you say crypto will do like tech stocks after the internet bubble, do you mean they will not crash and four-year cycle will not exist anymore? We'll talk about that in a minute too. Jungle Bowie 420. Wall Street want involved back then. I'm not quite sure what that means. It's just all caps. Oh man, Wall Street want involved back then. I don't know. Oh, do you mean back here on these early cycles, Wall Street wasn't involved? That's true, but you realize that Wall Street also gets involved on stuff that's going to grow a lot, right? They don't put all of their money in big institutions don't create billions of dollars worth of infrastructure around something that they just think is going to instantly die. They do that with new technology. And yeah, when Wall Street gets involved, the market's conditions change, but overall it does mean big growth is coming when Wall Street takes something seriously, even though at some point they're going to manipulate the living heck out of it like everybody knows, right? And crash it. But first they pump the living heck out of it. So, do you think Shiba will skyrocket? I made a video about Shiba yesterday, so go check it out first, man. There's some information about market cycles, where I think Shiba could go, and the opportunity in the big picture for Shiba Inu, because it's definitely there. So go watch my video. Maybe I'll do TA on it later. But let's start addressing some of these coins that you guys have requested. Okay. In last week's video, you said that the M2 supply, and let's see, you said the world keeps printing. Do you base that on M2 supply? No, so the M2, yes, a little bit. In the big picture, that's increasing. It did decrease during 2023, I mean. So the M2 did decrease during 2023 a little bit. The money supply did, but it was accelerating a lot during 2020. But I'm not using the M2, the money supply. Where is that? Money supply. I'm not using the US M2 as my only metric. There's also a lot of other things going on in the world. The M2 is increasing right now. It's starting to again. It decreased here in 2020 and then a little bit in 2023, but now it's increasing again. But I'm not using this as my only metric for how much money we're printing. There's a lot of invisible factors that they don't show publicly or talk about, like fractional reserve banking. If you don't understand fractional reserve banking, Google it. It'll blow your mind. The way that it works is basically they only have to keep a small reserve, a small fraction of the money that you deposit into your bank account in order to loan money out. So if you deposit $1 million into your bank account, and I'm pretty sure the law actually changed to where they don't even have to have anything. I'm pretty sure, I have to look it up. But if it didn't, the way that it used to work is that, say you deposit $1 million into the bank only has to keep a small portion of that actually in the bank. They can loan out the rest. So they can loan it out to a whole bunch of other people, and then people say they make a loan of $900,000 to somebody, then that guy goes and deposits it into his bank. And guess what? The bank only has to keep a small reserve. So then that gets loaned out maybe $800,000. This is just all example. These wouldn't be exact numbers. So then that guy gets $800,000 loaned out to him because the bank only had to keep a small portion as reserve of that $900,000. They could loan out the rest. So then that guy goes and deposits that $800,000 into his bank. See what's happening here? Money is getting basically created out of thin air that doesn't exist because legally the bank only has to have a small fraction of the money deposited as reserve. They can just loan it out just continuously. So this is one of the many different areas where hidden inflation is happening. People complain about how much groceries cost. Well, it's not just inflation. It's not just the rate of inflation. There's invisible factors that make it so your purchasing power is continually decreasing, which makes the value of stuff go up, including crypto and stocks, right? People start piling into those things because they know the dollar is a bad place to keep their money, especially people that have an understanding of this stuff and have a lot of money. They don't keep their money inside of cash. Most everybody does have cash because it's useful, but they invest a lot of it. They invest a lot of their money into different assets because they know what's happening. That's why stocks are going nuts. That's why crypto's going nuts. Yeah, there's real technology and real economic growth and real development happening in these industries, but there's also a heck of a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that is pumping the living heck out of everything, the value of everything, including your milk, your gas, invisibly. That isn't some metric they talk about on TV or the news. And fractional reserve banking is just one of those factors. So I hope that helps you understand better what I mean by, hey, we're printing money like crazy. We are printing money like crazy. It was happening faster in 2020, slowed down a little bit in 2022. It's picking back up again. It probably will pick right back up and keep going nuts here. This is a massive uptrend, the world money supply. But there's invisible factors where we're also creating money out of thin air, which is basically printing money. Fractional reserve banking is ridiculous if you go look into it. It's like, whoa, people trust banks? And I have a bank account too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, banks are useful and helpful, but man, go study what happened to other countries and other places like Germany. When people try to run on banks and everybody tries to pull their money out at once, fractional reserve banking means we do not have the liquidity. It's just true. America does not have the liquidity. The banking industry does not have the liquidity or even close to the liquidity they would need to even hand out a small portion if everybody wanted to pull out all their money from their banks. That's just the truth. So, that makes the value of things go up and the value of the dollar go down because it's viewed as monopoly money. When people are pulling all these strings, of course it's going to be viewed as monopoly money, right? Like, that's just true. So, all right. Hopefully that answers your question, tech dude. Can I do TA on LGLD or EGLD? My bad. Absolutely. I love to do TA. It's one of my favorite pastimes ever. Okay, how did we get on the line chart? Let's go back to candles. Cool. So, sweet. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's look at what's happening here on this coin. So you can see a market cycle here on EGLD. You can see we actually have a perfect Elliott wave cycle. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. The market gets overextended, overbought. Then you get complacency where everybody thinks, oh, is it going to go up again? This was just a cool off. It's going to go higher. And then they buy resistance. This is the same thing that happened to the entirety of crypto in 2018 when everybody tried to buy at 20K on Bitcoin. And it was really in a bull trap, actually like 17K because it pulled back a little bit lower on the right-hand side of the bull trap. And it's a big bull trap, so the market has to go lower. So we have 5 waves up, then we have an ABC correction down, wave A, wave B, and wave C. So this is a complete Elliott wave cycle. And I would venture to say that this is the bottom of wave C. And a lot of other coins are leading the breakout. Like we were just looking at some other coins that have already started to pump off of their double bottoms. Some of these other coins are going to lag behind a little bit. That doesn't mean they won't do good throughout the cycle, but it does show that some of these coins are breaking out first. Something has to break out first, So some of them are breaking out before others. That's just the way the market works. This one's lagging behind a little bit. Some of the other coins have already started to push up through resistance. It doesn't mean it won't start, but it does mean that other coins are breaking out first. So this is a full Elliott wave cycle. And you can see that we also have a double bottom. So here's the left side of the bottom, and here's the right side of the bottom. So that's a double bottom pattern. Now, the neckline is $33. We're at $29. If we break above the neckline of that double bottom pattern, it's going to take us right up to about $45 per EGLD. And you can measure that by measuring the very bottom of the double bottom pattern and putting it on top of the neckline, and that gives you a minimum target for the double bottom pattern, which is about $45. So that's what I'd be looking for in the near future here with EGLD, is a breakout above that resistance level and for us to start to push up towards that $45 level. With other coins leading and a lot of money coming into the market, there's no reason this can't happen. Watch for us to break above that resistance level of $33. That will take us in the short term to at least $45 as a minimum target. So that would be my update for EGLD. Okay, let's see. Blender network has great potential. Okay, Blender network. Do a little look at Blender network here. So with Blender network, you can start to see we've also broken out of a little double bottom. In fact, if you zoom in here, you can see this is what it looks like when you break out of those double bottoms. So we were just looking at EGLD and the double bottom there. This is a little double bottom right here on Blender. And what you can see here is we broke above the resistance of that double bottom. And when I say minimum target, I mean minimum because a lot of times FOMO happens. And you can see how high, see the minimum target here for this double bottom would have been 46 cents. But actually we pushed right up through that and went all the way up to like, to like 82 cents, right? So some FOMO happened here. A lot of people got pretty excited and we broke out here on Blender. But that double bottom minimum target would have been right here at 46 cents. 46. So what you want to do here is now that we broke bullish up here and we started to go parabolic in the short term, you want to watch because we're at resistance right now. So I talked at the beginning of this stream how Bitcoin could pull back to 64. It could even pull back to 60K in the short term. It doesn't have to. It can keep pushing higher right up through resistance. But once you start to get up to these resistance levels, you do want to watch for pullbacks in the market because, you know, a lot of people are going to be buying resistance just like they sell support. So you want to set some support levels like this and watch for a pullback down to support. It just means that you'll be able to get another entry. If you're playing this thing in the big picture, it means you can accumulate more at cheaper prices. It doesn't mean that you sell, you know, unless you're trading the short term on a lot of this stuff. Some people do trade the short term. This channel is dedicated to big picture technical analysis. That doesn't mean we don't swing trade. As you guys know in the VIP, we do swing trading. We bought Bitcoin at the 786 down at the bottom before it broke out. And we do have a free signal too. We posted a free signal for Pepe at the bottom down here. We posted a signal down here when it was worth almost nothing down here. This white line right here is where we bought down here, and it went all the way up. We gained like 56% gains. So we do swing trade, but for the most part, this channel is dedicated to big picture technical analysis. So I usually don't try to just sell, like play a lot of these little swings, even though it's tempting to, because you're probably going to turn $1,000 into $400 or $200 rather than turn 1,000 into 10,000 or 100,000. But if you buy the dip in the bigger picture, then it's more likely that you will turn $1,000 into 10,000 or 100,000, right? Because if you're trying to trade in and out over and over, you're probably going to get emotional. You probably don't know what you're doing. You're probably just going to trade down your capital. But if you invest in the bigger picture and play those bigger swings, that's where a lot of beginners can turn like $1,000 into, again, 10,000 or 100,000 or whatever. But you have to play the bigger picture because the smaller time frame is going to be really volatile. So I don't play a lot of these swings, right? It's not like I play the swing of it coming down to support, but at least it gives you awareness when it happens. Okay, don't panic sell, right? Because if this blender network comes back down to like 54 cents here on the support, a lot of times people, because they're trying to trade every swing, they're like, oh no, it's going to go lower. And they're looking at people on Twitter, and all these people on Twitter flip bearish and they start calling big bear markets, and you start to make bad decisions. You make emotional decisions. But if you're aware, oh, well, this is a major support level. We just hit a major area of resistance. It could pull back down to 52 cents here in the short term. When that happens, you just kind of chill. You don't care. You let the market do its thing before it goes higher. And you're watching the bigger picture, because in the bigger picture, crypto is undervalued, including Bitcoin. Right? So you buy these things undervalued in the big picture. You take your capital, you buy it when it's cheap, you buy when people are skeptical, you buy when people are in disbelief, and you hold on. And you can use your technical analysis to reduce some of your fear when the market pulls back in the short term. You can be like, oh, that's major support. Just like Wrapped Dog here. You know, a lot of people would panic sell. This was one potential I was looking at, was a breakout retest of this line. A lot of people will panic sell down here, but the biggest whale just bought a whole bunch more Wrapped Dog. You can see it on the blockchain, right? So the big players, if you're watching their accounts, you can see them do exactly what I'm talking about, where they buy more when it pulls back instead of selling, because they're focused on that big picture undervaluation. They know in the big picture a lot of this stuff is undervalued and it's going to go a lot higher. So I do think it could pull back in the near future, but I don't think it'll pull back for very long. Generally, I'm bullish in October. We'll see, but I'm for sure bullish November, December, for sure. But I think we're going to push up through resistance on a lot of this stuff, but we could pull back a little bit first, then go back up to those resistance levels and break out. And it doesn't have to. It can just push right up through. I'm not saying this has to happen. That's why we play the big picture, because in the smaller time frame, it's harder to say exactly for sure what's going to happen. That's why if you're swing trading this stuff, you want to have a stop loss. But if you're playing the bigger picture and you're investing in this stuff, you can use your technical analysis to better understand what's going on, and you can still make a whole bunch of money in the markets and not panic sell the dips. So that would be my view on Blender. I do think we will turn around here. I do think we'll find support. We could pull back here down to support and break out. It's fairly likely that we do. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Bitcoin pull back to 60K. It doesn't have to. We can break out higher. Who knows for sure in the shorter time frame, but in the bigger picture, we're for sure undervalued on a lot of this stuff. So, cool. All right. Imagine waiting to take out those millions and they don't have it. Yeah, I mean, it has to be everybody at once, right? Like we were talking about the bank, and if everybody wanted to pull their money out all at once, they couldn't be able to, or they wouldn't be able to. It has to be everybody at once. If some guy that has like, $100 million and he wants to pull all of his money out, it'd still probably be pretty hard to do it. They want to have your money in there. But it'd have to be everybody at once. But yeah, they definitely don't have the liquidity. Banks do not have the liquidity. It's just fact. Because of fractional reserve banking, banks are not legally obligated to reserve all of the capital that you deposit. If you deposit $1 million, they have to reserve a very, very small fraction of that as reserve in the bank. So if everybody ran on the banks right now, they wouldn't have the money to give everybody the money they want. It's all just a big house of cards or whatever. It's just, there's nothing behind it. There's a small fraction of capital, but they don't have the money that they would need to actually pull out what people have deposited. So when you go and you look at your bank and you see, oh, look, there's 100,000 or there's $1 million or there's 10,000 or there's 500, right? Whatever amount you have, or maybe you're negative $30, right? If you go look at your bank and say there's $500, it's kind of not even truly there. Like it is, they can give it to you. But if everybody wanted to pull out all of their money all at once, they wouldn't be able to give everybody their money. That's just how it works. They don't have the cap, they don't have the reserve for it. They don't have the liquidity. They're illiquid. They're like FTX. A lot of banks are like FTX. They're, before the crash, FTX wasn't liquid. They didn't have all the money they said that they had, all the users and stuff that they were showing in their accounts. So if everybody wanted to pull all of their money out of FTX all at once, they couldn't have done it. That's what illiquidity means. They don't have the capital to act. It's not even really all there. They're telling you have this much money, but you really don't. Because if everybody wanted to pull out all at once, they couldn't do it. They're not liquid to do it. So hopefully you guys understand that concept, because go study other currencies. Go study Germany, Germany, their currency completely failed. They were putting their currency on walls as wallpaper, and I'm pretty sure like a wheelbarrow full of it could buy one loaf of bread because of hyperinflation, because they didn't have the money to back what they were giving people. They were printing it like crazy. There wasn't any, they weren't liquid. Their currency was not liquid. And that's just the truth. America's currency is not liquid. The US dollar is not liquid. Period. It's just true. We don't have the liquidity to say, even the banking industry, but also the US dollar, we're not liquid. We don't even back it by anything. It's not backed by anything. At least crypto is backed by miners and math and technology. The banking industry isn't backed by anything except for some promise that's signed by the Federal Reserve to go promise somebody else that this is all just a big promise, that they don't have anything to actually back that promise. And that's just the truth. But yeah, well, that's my rant for the day. Let's look at Byte. This looks good. This looks way good. I mean, look at this big ABC correction we just broke out of. Look at that. That looks so good. I don't know what the market cap of this thing is, but that looks really good. I would not be at all surprised to see once it finds support, wherever it's going to find support, it pulled back a little bit here off this 0.000022 level down to 0.000017. So, once it finds support right here, I bet it pushes right up through this B level of resistance. Again, market conditions are making this possible. A lot of stuff is shooting up in value because of the fact that the world market conditions, the economy in the world, is creating an environment where people are trying to flood into different things, flood their money into stocks, flood their money into gold, flood their money into crypto. They're trying to put it everywhere they possibly can, except in large amounts in the dollar or their fiat currency associated with their country, right? So this looks really good. I don't know anything about this, but it looks really good. I can tell you that. This is a full cycle here. We have a complete market cycle. We have a complete market cycle. We were undervalued right here. We went into euphoria. We pulled all the way back. We're on major support right here. You can see this major support level down here. So that's a full cycle. That's a full market cycle. And we're breaking out into a new one. So that looks really good. Okay, let's see here. Elon, check out Bite My Dog, Elon's AI pet. Is that what this is? Is this Elon's AI pet? Is this like some meme coin somebody made? Whoever made this, man, they have created something that looks like it's going to pump. That's all I'm going to say. Justin's son owns the most supply. That doesn't surprise me. It's listed on Poloniex, right? He's gonna own the biggest supply of a lot of stuff. He owns Poloniex. This is where I learned how to trade, was on Poloniex. Back in 2016, early day Poloniex was the spot to go. That was like the cool place where the cool kids hung out, you know? So, all right. Okay, let's see here. Thoughts on ETC? Man, so Ethereum Classic does pump every cycle, but it's not like it's, you know, I definitely would rather buy Ethereum. The only reason to play Ethereum Classic would be, you know, for a higher percentage gain. But if you look at this on the logarithmic chart and you go from the bottom up to the top, you can see it did 5,700% or 57x in the last cycle. And then if we pull up Ethereum over here on the right and take a look at Ethereum, and we measure its percentage gain on the logarithmic chart as well, because it's the easiest to do it that way. And we measure from our peak low to the peak high. You can see that Ethereum did like pretty much the exact same percentage gain, actually. So that's kind of funny. I thought Ethereum was a little higher, but it's actually pretty much the same. So Ethereum did 57x, and Ethereum Classic did 56x. So Ethereum is a little bit better of a performer historically. In the very first cycle for ETC, it did a bigger percentage gain, but now that the time has progressed, Ethereum is definitely more well known. Excuse me. Definitely more well known, and Ethereum has a tendency to outperform ETC. So that's my honest view. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is an ETC. I'm pretty sure there is an ETC fund. I don't remember who's buying it. It might be Grayscale. Maybe Grayscale has ETC. So they obviously think it's going to pump. I'd have to look into that to back check that. Don't take my word as truth until you look into that to make sure. Obviously, some people think it's going to pump. You know, it has pumped in the past 2 cycles, but Ethereum does have a tendency to do a bigger percentage gain. So that would be my view. It's probably going to happen again, that Ethereum does a bigger percentage gain. Okay, let's see here. Thoughts on Caspa is actually really good. I can tell you right now, Caspa is a really good hold. Let's take a look at this thing. Take it off the log chart. So you can see here, Caspa is in a big channel. And this is honestly what I think it's going to do. I think Caspa will break out here right up through this channel. I don't think it'll have any problem breaking up through this channel. And if you want to learn something about market cycles, this is a good time for me to show that. If we look at the NASDAQ composite and go back to the internet bubble, back during the days of the internet bubble, and put it on the regular scale here, and we'll increase time frame a little bit, 15-day. There we go. If you look at the NASDAQ composite index, do you see on the way up here, the NASDAQ formed an upward facing channel, an upward pointing channel, I mean. You can see we have this upward channel here on the NASDAQ. Once we broke bullish out of that channel, we had a parabolic run, okay? As far as in the short term, like in the near future, I think Caspa is getting ready to do a very similar thing, where Caspa actually breaks bullish out of this channel that it's formed and starts to see a parabolic run. So that'd be my view. It's very similar structure as right here on the NASDAQ. Pretty much the same structure. So yeah, that's pretty typical for a market cycle to do that on the way up, for you to form a bullish channel and then to break bullish out of that channel as people get excited. So Caspa's a really good hold. Was FOMOing altcoins in March at the local highs a big mistake on the big picture? No. I mean, it was a big mistake in the short term, you know, like definitely you were buying a little bit high in the short term, but not in the big picture. You actually got pretty dang good entries in the big picture. You know, if you were FOMO buying in March when everything was high before it crashed, like right here on Phantom, for example, if you were buying right here in March, you're FOMO buying a little bit too high in the short term. Yeah, it pulled back for sure. But in the bigger picture, crypto is super undervalued. Look at this on Phantom. Crypto is so undervalued in the big picture. Like, we have a lot left to go. We've got a lot of upside. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself for FOMO buying up here, because in the big picture, you're good. So yeah, that'd be my answer for that question. So yeah, you guys, basically the message for today, we have a lot left big picture. Short term, we might just moon in the short term. Who knows? We could just break up again. This whole next week, we could just straight take off. Or we could pull back a little bit. You know, we could pull back just a little bit and then take off again. But overall, I think we're headed into a lot more upside here with crypto. Big things are coming in the markets. And for me personally, I see a lot of upside coming. You know, if we pull back just a little bit here in the short term because we FOMO'd up right here, don't be afraid, don't sell. The bigger picture, there's a lot more upside. There's a lot left in this cycle. We're going to go a lot higher, and we're going to make a lot more money in the crypto markets before all of this is over. Like a lot more. So, you know, just keep your faith and keep your eyes focused on the prize, those bigger picture targets that are a lot higher than where we're at right now in price, and stay focused on that. Don't get caught up in the short term. Don't, if anything, buy more if it pulls back. You know, be ready for more upside. So yeah, that's my stream for the day. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Don't forget to check out Wrapped Dog. You know, I personally think this is a great entry down here. Really good entry down here. Breakout retest. I bet this one takes off really strong through October. So maybe it is Uptober. A lot of people on crypto Twitter talking Uptober. Maybe it is Uptober, not October. It's kind of hard to say. Uptober. Yeah, maybe it's Uptober, you guys. We could see that. If we pull back at the beginning of October, don't be scared. I don't think we will on Wrapped Dog. This is a really good entry down here. But some of the other coins might. But I think we could go up through October, especially mid-October. We'll just have to see. But the big picture is super undervalued. And that is my live stream for the day. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. I will see you guys next week. And as always, stay profitable out there.